We'll wait for her to just call in, but if you want to start the meeting, we might as well get going.
Okay, well, I'll call the meeting to order. Can they all hear me? I've never done this before.
I'm told they can hear you, Joe.
I can hear you.
Great. I have an approval of the minutes for April 29, 2020 meeting, which we did the same way as we're doing it now. Could I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
Doug Blacklock, so moved.
Lucy Alston, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Aye.
We have a treasurer's report, right?
Yes, we have a treasurer's report, not much different from the last meeting. There's been very little activity this year, which is some legal expenses. In our audit, our cash on hand is $340,970. We provided you with the balance sheet comparative to last year and the few transactions that have taken place to date. So money's good, but not a lot happening.
Okay. Could I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Doug Blacklock, so moved.
Second, please.
Nick McDonald, second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No.
Thank you. Number 581-20, 400 State Street project.
We provided you with a quick background. This is a Gillespie affiliated entity, Scotia Holdings, Inc. They are the owners and operators of 400 State Street, which is home to both Thai Cinema and Siemens as the office holder on the upper floors. They're going through a refinancing and continuing to work with NBT Bank, the original lender on the project. The debt remains the same at about $3.2 million. It's just a better rate, longer term. As is always, the IDA needs to consent to the refinancing because we have a pilot mortgage on the property, and then within the resolution, there's also a reference to two easements that also need to be incorporated into this transaction. So effectively, there's no real change in the entire transaction, and so we're looking for your approval to allow the closing to take place.
Does anyone have any questions at all? If not, could I have a motion to accept this resolution 581, please, 20?
This is Lucy Alston. I'll move that.
Doug Blacklock, I'll second.
It's a motion. Could I have a second, please?
We got a motion and a second, Joe.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. 1 North Church Street, 582-20, please.
Right, I think we all are familiar with the Stockade Inn on Church Street. Redburn Development Partners have been very active in investing in Schenectady, has purchased the property with plans to renovate it and convert it from a hotel to 23 market rate apartments with about 1,100 square feet of commercial retail space in the building. Redburn, as you know, has developed a series of buildings, the old Foster Hotel, the Fitzgerald Apartments on Clinton Street. They're also involved with the former Gazette Building on Broadway. For our newer members, I just want to remind you from our discussion a few weeks ago that there's a bit of process that's involved. So the application comes in. There's a quick review and a preliminary approval that's given at this meeting to schedule a public hearing that will be held in a few weeks. Also, the developers are requesting a payment in lieu of tax agreement that is different from our standard policy. And so we need to go through a separate process of notifying the city, the county, and the school district about the terms of the pilot. We are still having discussions with the developer about those terms. In that letter, when we describe the terms of the pilot, we also set the date of the next meeting where it will be considered. So if any of the tax jurisdictions want to attend, they can attend. And then we have our standard environmental review that needs to take place. So all of this means that we'll schedule the public hearing in probably later in June, along with our regular meeting here, and then final approval on the pilot. After that, there's yet another meeting to approve any bank financing that's in place. So this project and the next one, you'll see it coming back at us here several times over the next 2 months or so.
Can I ask you, are they going to be 1-bedroom apartments or 2-bedroom apartments? You know,
We have not received the site plan, so the floor plan, so I don't know, Joe, but it's a great question.
yeah, but because people are asking me already, and if there's 23 apartments, that, you know, and if they're 2 bedrooms, you're talking 46 cars, and I'm wondering about the parking situation, because people are asking me about that now. Next door, there's an apartment building that's 65 apartments in it. So I know that people are.
Yep, so there is parking in the rear of the property, as you know, and across the street.
Right. Have they negotiated the property across the street?
That's part of this trip.
They have part of the church. Right. Yeah, because I did all that before them. Okay. Can I have a motion to accept this 582-20, please?
Doug Blacklock, so moved.
Second?
Lucy Halsted, second.
I believe I heard a second. I'm not sure.
Yes, there was a second,
There
Joe.
was a second. All in favor, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. 136 Broadway, number 583-20.
Right, so this is, we're sort of following in the same path. Again, it's Redbird Development. Several months ago, they purchased the former Gazette Building at 132-136 Broadway. They've been proceeding with getting the property listed on the historic register. Apparently, it was originally called the Clark Whitbeck Building, so that's what how they have been referring to it. It's a very interesting building because it's all one big concrete structure, but they feel that they can make it available as a kind of a catering company, wedding venue. They have a company that's willing to operate the business on the first floor and in the basement. You know, kind of an interesting wedding facility. And then they would also establish 11 apartments on the upper floors. It's a pretty large building, a lot of space to work with. They painted the exterior of the building, as you know already. They hold title to the building, and they are ready to get going. So once again, the resolution calls for public hearing, and then also to negotiate the pilot and inform the taxing entities about the pilot structure, and that's still taking place with our office.
Okay, could I have a question concerning this? Anyone? Could I have a motion to accept 583-20, please?
Nick McDonald, I'll make that motion.
Second?
Doug.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Any other business, please?
No formal business. Again, in terms of the process, we will work with Connie's office to get the public hearing notice in the newspaper. Again, there are now prescribed procedures for holding public hearings over the phone or video. So we haven't done that yet. So we'll try to sort of get that straight. And then, as is customary with the IDA, we hold the public hearing usually in concert with the next IDA meeting. So I would guess we would probably convene again in about 3 or 4 weeks. So obviously, we'll give you plenty of notice.
So that's, I know you're going to ask me about this. So the public hearings will be posted in the newspaper.
That's correct.
Okay, and the Gazette. Okay, thank you. Any other business, folks? Anything you wanted? Okay, could I have a motion to adjourn? Is Ray there? Does Ray have to say anything? I'm sorry.
I think he was in on the call and then he dropped out of the
Okay.
call.
Okay, thank you. Could I have a motion? Go ahead.
Doug Blacklock, so moved.
Lucy Halsted, second.
Say something.
No, we got a motion and a second for adjournment, Joe. We're all set.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all, folks.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay.